Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E.G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
Minute 44 of Groundhog Day finishes up what we see of Phil's date with Lorraine, Nancy walking away, and will get us to Phil essentially starting to take an interest in Rita. So all the movie is showing us of Phil's exploitation of the other local women is his date with Nancy and then his date with Lorraine. Then he moves on to Rita, so we're shifting already from adolescent phase to what I call date night. So that's going to be the movie for a little while. It's Phil taking an interest in Rita. But right now, minute 44, we start in front of the Alpine Theater. Nancy has just walked by. Phil said, "Hi, Nancy." She turned, she looked, she sees him there dressed as the man with no name, and Lorraine there dressed as a French maid, and she's confused. She turns to walk away, and he says, "In my transcript I have it as my own fiance, but I don't know why that says that. I think it's my old fiance."
My old fiance.
I gotta fix that. Coming in from editing because this one's fun. I want it to be my old fiance. And if I'm thinking my old fiance and I hear his line,
My old fiance.
I hear my old fiance. But if I'm thinking my own fiance and I hear his line,
My old fiance.
I hear my own fiance. His volume or his frequency, whatever it is just right where I can hear both. And so while I want it to be my old, I'm pretty sure he says own. I think I was wrong here in the recording. And so I double checked. The final revision of the script, the line is, my own fiance doesn't even remember me. It's that whole Yanny Laurel thing. So I'm not going to fix it in my transcript. Because I don't need to. It is, my own fiance doesn't remember me. Back to me. My old fiance doesn't remember me. Which is a weird thing to say out loud when he's on a date with someone else. Why draw attention for Lorraine to Nancy? Lorraine, if she's going out on a date tonight in Punxsutawney, is probably also local, so she might know Nancy or know of Nancy. Nancy, by the way, is, I said this last minute, but seeing her again here at the beginning of this minute, she is wearing the same dress she wore on the date with Phil, and I believe it's the same dress she will be wearing at the banquet. So yes, she is probably just on the way to the banquet right now, because she does not have a date for the night. Which is something the movie is showing us because it makes it more forgivable that Phil lied to get her to go out with him. Is that she wanted to go out. She needed something to do. She is looking for something to do tonight. Or someone to do tonight, as it were. So Phil goes over to the box office. He says that will be one adult, and Lorraine corrects, says 2 adults. And he says 2 adults, I guess. And he tosses coins to pay for this, and it doesn't sound like a lot of coins. So I guess it's a very cheap theater. Because we don't have $2 coins in this country, and that's the cheapest movie I ever saw, in the 80s at least. There was a theater that would do $2, was it $2 every Wednesday at the Academy Theater in Pasadena? It sounds like he throws 2 coins. So is this theater $1 each? Or is it a special Groundhog Day screening of Heidi 2? Because it's the holiday, they're cheaper or free or whatever. Like Woodstock actually does. At this theater, which looks a lot different now, you can see Groundhog Day, or at least you could. I don't know if they, I assume they do it every year. But the year I was there, they showed Groundhog Day for free on the morning before and the morning of. And I went both times, of course. Took some notes on a sheet of paper. They were messy because I was writing in the dark, taking notes on how the audience reacted to things. Like the thing I shared several minutes ago about the little girl who heard Phil call the old man dad later in the movie and thought it was his dad. Cut to Phil on the monitor. 2 monitors. So, duplicate Phil and his shadow. But notice how they look the same. Right now, Phil is his own shadow. Phil is the id that has taken over. He's doing whatever he wants. Notably, the footage on the monitor is the footage from the first report on day 1, which means today's report was exactly identical to that one. Essentially, the movie reused footage rather than have a separate clip of him doing a report for this moment. We're in the back of the van, so we cut to a different angle. We see that Rita is inside the van watching this footage, and Phil is outside the van. First, we get a little of the audio from inside, though, is him saying, "Groundhog, who, as legend has it, can predict the coming of an early spring. So I guess the question we have to ask ourselves today is, does Phil feel lucky?" Notably, that line, just like he used it before, is itself a reference to Dirty Harry, a Clint Eastwood character, when we just had Phil dressed as a Clint Eastwood character in this minute and in last minute. So partly it's about Phil, and maybe he's just a fan of Clint Eastwood, but also it's about America and how we are a fan of Clint Eastwood at the time. Nowadays, he's more of a divisive political figure. Certain people might like him more for his politics or more for his movies or whatever. He's still making movies, and he's in his 90s. Phil is maybe a fan. Or, as I said, America's a fan, and so Phil is quoting that. Does Phil feel lucky? Do ya? Punk? All that. So he's still referencing that sort of idealized American cowboy man. And then he says, "Rita, if you only had one day to live, what would you do with it?" Which is funny, because on the one hand, is he asking because he's interested in her and he's trying to, it's his in? It's the only question he could think of because it's the only thing on his mind. Or did he run out of ideas already? Is Punxsutawney that small and that boring that he's already run out of ideas?
Coming in from editing again, because I'm about to say I went to Punxsutawney, but I did not go to Punxsutawney. I've never been to Punxsutawney. I went to Woodstock, Illinois, which is where they filmed the movie. I think Punxsutawney is actually a smaller town, so it might actually be more true there, but I don't know. But anyway, the following I'm actually talking about Woodstock, not Punxsutawney.
I was in Punxsutawney for a few days, and to be fair, that Sunday night, I did kind of run out of stuff to do. I believe Sunday night is when I ended up seeing Labor Day at the movie theater, because I just needed something else to do. After the Groundhog festivities, the Groundhog breakfast, the Groundhog screening, and I think there was a walking tour again that day, but after that, town was empty. Walked back into the town square after the tour, and no one was around. So then I went in search of the local library because I'd heard they had stuff on display. And they did. I took pictures, wrote about it. Now there's an even bigger display in the Woodstock Library. So if I ever get back there, I'll have to go again to the library and see it up close. A lot of props, because a lot of props from the movie ended up owned by locals. Like the trash can with the groundhog leg. Also, if you want to see a weird thing, in the movie Wes Craven's New Nightmare, one of those trash cans shows up. I don't know if Wes Craven owned it or some other crew person did. Not sure. But one of those shows up. They have a menu. They have plates from the diner. A pillow from Phil's room. A lot of stuff that are owned by... what's that family? Several of the things are owned by the same, family. Multiple people. If I ever went back to Woodstock again, I'd probably try to see if I could contact them, talk to them, see what else they've got. I would also want to talk to the current owner of the Cherry Street Inn. I forget what it's called right now, because it's not called Cherry Street Inn, but the current owner seems nice. And so I'd want to talk to her and see if I could stay there, if they have a room on that top floor. I want to stay in that room, see that same view out those windows. Rita, turning off the monitors somewhere here, says, "I don't know, Phil. What are you dying of?" And he says, "No, I mean, the whole world's about to explode. What do you do?" She says, "I just want to know where to put the camera." "What are you looking for, Phil? A date for the weekend?" They're walking away from the van now. They are, as you can see in the background, the Pennsylvania Hotel is back there, so they are parked on the same parking space where we'll see them when Phil steals the groundhog later. They are parked near the corner, and they are at the southwest corner of the square. They are currently on the western side of the square, walking north. So walking toward... I'm actually not sure what they're walking toward. Maybe they're going to the diner, just like before. Maybe they're going to find Larry. Where's Larry right now? I don't know. Or maybe they're going to look at the ice sculpting before they leave. They're walking because walking is more interesting than sitting. And Phil says to Rita, "No, I'm just interested in you. What do you want? What do you like? What do you think about? What kind of men are you interested in? What do you do for fun?" First of all, too many questions, too fast. Also, this comes across a little strong. But he's in a time loop. You can come on strong. Because if it doesn't work, you can do it a different way the next day. This gets the conversation going, so it works. We'll see where it goes from here. Next time, that's all I got for minute 44. Until next time, take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Watch a movie, read a book, play a game, play music, eat something nice. Whatever you need to do to get out of the humdrum drudgery of your everyday reality. Good luck.
Knew you were going to say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, lapping, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, you know Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?
Laurel. 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 Laurel.